This will make you cry hard because Archangel Michael is urgently speaking to you right now, and he wants you to understand that something has been happening behind your back, something that is not only hidden but deeply shocking. A deal has been made, and you have been made the target without your knowing, and the clock is ticking with only 30 minutes left before what was decided in secret begins to unfold. And so I am here to tell you to open your heart and open your spirit immediately. Because what you choose to do in this moment determines everything about your protection, your breakthrough, and your destiny, and I want you to feel how serious this is. I want you to hear it as if the very sky itself is shaking above your head and whispering your name, because Archangel Michael is leaning close. His mighty sword of light raised in defense of your life, his wings stretching wide to cover you from the darkness that was planning to touch you, and yet you must open this message fully and not delay, because delay is the trap. Hesitation is the weapon the enemy uses, distraction is the net that has been cast over your path to keep you unaware of what is being decided against you right now. You are not reading these words by chance, you are not hearing this by accident. This is a divine interception in the middle of your day, a warning of love but also of urgency. Because behind the closed doors of people who pretend to care for you, conversations have been whispered, intentions have been exchanged, and agreements have been made with the darkness, and their eyes have been fixed on you as the sacrifice, as the chosen one they think they can bring down. But what they do not understand is that Archangel Michael stands in front of you and speaks to you now, so that you will not be blindsided, so that you will not be caught unprepared, so that you will rise up with strength and recognize that heaven has seen everything that men try to hide. You have been betrayed in ways you do not even fully know yet. You have been spoken about in shadows, and while you smiled thinking you were surrounded by friends, knives were being sharpened with your name on them. But this is the hour when the truth is breaking open. And this is the moment when you must act with courage and faith, because the time is not unlimited, it is 30 minutes and counting. And every second matters, because it determines whether the curse spoken against you will land or be shattered, whether the theft planned against your blessing will succeed or collapse, whether the deal made in the dark will stand or be broken by the light of God's warrior angels. Feel how heavy this is, feel how urgent the call is, because the Spirit is stirring you to tears, not to weaken you but to cleanse your eyes, so that you will finally see what has been hidden from you, so that you will finally understand why the struggles have been so heavy, why certain doors suddenly closed, why opportunities slipped from your hands, why sleepless nights have tormented you. Because forces beyond what you could see were working against you, and yet the voice of Archangel Michael pierces through the deception like thunder right now, saying to you that you must not sit still, you must not delay, you must not allow fear to paralyze you, because what is coming is only coming to test if you will take action or remain silent. This moment is your divine alert, your divine wake-up call, and if you feel your heart pounding, if you feel your spirit trembling, it is because heaven itself is urging you to awaken, to move, to call upon protection, to speak light over your life, to declare that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. To cry out for the covering of God's fire, because you are not just anyone, you are chosen, you are marked for greatness, You are marked for blessing, and that is exactly why the dark ones have targeted you. It is not because you are weak, it is because you are strong. It is not because you are empty, it is because you are full. It is not because you are meaningless, it is because you are significant, and the shocking deal made behind your back is proof that your destiny carries weight in heaven and in earth. Because if you were nothing, the enemy would not bother. If you were irrelevant, no one would waste time making secret agreements against you. But the very fact that they are plotting proves that you are standing on the edge of something great. That you are on the threshold of breakthrough, and they fear it so much that they tried to stop it before it blooms. Archangel Michael wants you to hear the countdown of these 30 minutes not as something to terrify you but as something to awaken you, because you still have the power to turn everything, you still have the power to break the contract written in shadows, you still have the authority to cancel the attack, you still have the divine permission to step out of the snare. But only if you open this message with your full heart and not just skim it with your eyes. Only if you take every word as a lifeline and not just another noise on your screen. Only if you let the Spirit burn it into your soul and let the fire of heaven rise in your voice. Because this is not entertainment, this is not casual, this is your life, your destiny, your miracle, your season, and the enemy is raging because he knows what is about to be released in your hands if you hold on, if you endure, if you open yourself fully. The heavens are shaking with urgency, and Archangel Michael is standing in front of you as a messenger of light, telling you that you cannot sit quietly because in the hidden corners of places you cannot see a transaction has already been completed with your name signed to it without your permission, a shocking deal where forces of envy, jealousy, greed, and betrayal have agreed together that you will be the one to fall. You will be the one to lose, you will be the one to cry, but I am here to tell you that the cry they planned for you will not be your cry of defeat, it will be your cry of breakthrough, your cry of release, your cry of rising higher. If you choose now to take what is being spoken into your spirit and let it move you to act. Feel the weight of this moment, feel the way time presses against your chest, because every second that passes is not an empty second, it is the countdown, and while they laugh in the shadows believing you are blind, believing you are silent, believing you are defenseless, the truth is that you are hearing the alarm bell of heaven, and the angelic armies are already gathering, already moving, already drawing their swords, because Archangel Michael has declared that your soul belongs to light and not to darkness, that your blessing belongs in your hands and not in the grip of deceivers, that your destiny belongs to God and not to those who sell it cheaply in their envy. Listen closely, because I tell you they are watching you even now. They are watching to see if you will rise or crumble, if you will obey the call of the Spirit or ignore it, if you will let your 30 minutes tick into nothingness. But the fact that you are still here reading these words means you are not too late, means the chance has not passed, means you still have the opening to turn everything around. Do not underestimate what is happening, because Archangel Michael is showing me that papers have been exchanged, words have been sealed, oaths have been spoken in silence, and you were not in the room when they did it. But your name was, your blessing was, your inheritance was, and they thought you would never find out. They thought you would never know until it was too late. But heaven exposes what hell tries to cover, and now the exposure is here, and with exposure comes decision, with decision comes action, and with action comes deliverance. Do not tremble in fear, tremble in awakening, tremble because the Spirit of God is shaking you free of sleep, tremble because your soul is catching fire, and in that fire your enemies' papers will burn, their contracts will turn to ash, their deals will dissolve into smoke, but you must stand and declare it, you must speak and break it, you must align with the light and say that what they wrote against you is null and void, that what they signed against your name is cancelled, that what they whispered about you is broken. 30 minutes is not long, but it is long enough. 30 minutes is not forever, but it is enough for the power of God to move. 30 minutes is enough for you to shift the atmosphere. 30 minutes is enough for angels to descend. 30 minutes is enough for chains to snap. But only if you believe that this is real, only if you stop doubting. Only if you open the message of heaven as you have opened this now. Archangel Michael is not speaking for nothing, he is not wasting his breath, he is not repeating empty promises, he is declaring that you have been targeted but you are not alone, you have been named but you are also protected, you have been chosen by darkness to fall but chosen by light to rise. And what happens now depends on whether you accept the alert or reject it, whether you rise to your calling or sink in distraction. The Spirit says to you, look at the signs around you, look at the sudden changes in people's behavior, look at the strange resistance you faced when you tried to step forward, look at the heaviness that fell upon you without explanation. These were not coincidences, these were warnings, these were signals that the deal had already been signed, but now heaven has torn the veil off and you see it clearly. And now that you see it, you cannot pretend you don't, you cannot walk away unchanged, you cannot hear this voice and act as though you did not. Because what you do next is being watched by heaven and by hell, by angels and by demons, by those who plotted against you and by those who love you, and your choice will declare whose side you truly stand on. Archangel Michael stands ready with his flaming sword, his army behind him ready to strike. And yet he looks at you because the authority of choice rests with you, because you must open this fully and declare that you are under heaven's covenant, that you reject the deals of darkness, that you step out of the trap, that you are not the target but the victor, that you are not the victim but the survivor, that you are not the sacrifice but the inheritor, and when you declare it, when you believe it, when you stand on it, the countdown will no longer be your fear. It will be your signal of deliverance. The very 30 minutes they thought would end you will become the 30 minutes that saved you, the 30 minutes that shifted everything in your favor, the 30 minutes that turned the table and exposed every liar, every deceiver, every enemy who dared to use your name in their secret bargain. The weight of this moment cannot be overstated, because you are standing in the middle of a divine intersection where the unseen and the seen collide, where heaven has pulled back the curtain for you to witness what was meant to remain hidden. And as the 30 minutes tick away, you must understand that this is not simply about fear, it is about revelation, it is about preparation, it is about positioning. And Archangel Michael is speaking into your spirit that you were never meant to walk blindly, you were never meant to be ambushed without warning, you were never meant to be swallowed by the schemes of those who smile to your face but curse you when you turn your back, you were meant to stand covered in light. Equipped with the truth, armed with courage, and now the truth is here, raw and undeniable, that a shocking deal was sealed with your name at the center. You have been discussed in places you were never invited, you have been used as currency in games you never agreed to play, but even as the enemy tries to play with your destiny, heaven has already written a greater script, one that no demon, no betrayer, no liar, no conspirator can erase, and what you are hearing right now is your reminder that heaven's plan always overrides hell's plots if you will choose to align with it. Think of how many times you escaped without knowing, think of how many nights you cried without answers, think of how many near disasters passed by your life. These were not luck, these were the quiet shields of angels, these were the hidden swords of Archangel Michael, these were the unseen battles fought in the midnight while you slept, and this moment is another such rescue, except now you are being told directly, now you are being warned openly, now you are being invited to participate in your own deliverance. The 30 minutes are not a countdown to your end, they are a countdown to your decision, they are a test of whether you will stay silent and passive or whether you will rise in fire and declare that no secret deal made in shadows can override the covenant of light upon your life. You must feel the burning urgency in your chest because it is the Spirit awakening your warrior soul, reminding you that you were not created weak, you were not created helpless, you were not created to be stepped on, you were created in the image of the Almighty, you were created to reign, you were created to shine, and that is exactly why you were targeted. They saw your potential, they saw your blessing, they saw your rising light, and they could not stand it, so they made their deal, but what they forgot is that every deal made against you also signs their own downfall, every trap set for you will become the pit they themselves fall into, every curse they spoke will return to their own lips, but this will only manifest if you open your mouth and agree with heaven. Archangel Michael says to you now, do not keep silent. Do not shrink back, do not sit numb while the minutes pass, stand, speak, declare, call on the fire, because this is not the moment to be polite, this is the moment to roar, this is the moment to claim your inheritance, this is the moment to announce that you are chosen, and as soon as you do, the angels move faster, the chains loosen, the contracts burn, the deals dissolve, and your name is lifted back into the light where it always belonged. You may feel tears pressing in your eyes even now, you may feel your throat tightening, you may feel your heart racing, and that is not weakness, that is confirmation, that is your soul recognizing the truth of what is being spoken. That is your spirit crying because it knows how close you came to destruction. How close you were to being stolen from again, how close you were to being silenced forever, and yet in mercy God sent Archangel Michael to interrupt the plan, to step in between you and the dagger in the dark, to shout a warning so loud that you could not ignore it. Heaven has seen every betrayal, heaven has counted every tear, Heaven has written every wound into the book of remembrance, and now heaven is declaring that enough is enough, that the plot must be exposed, that the deal must be broken, that your life must rise. Do not take this moment lightly, do not scroll past it as if it is just another passing message. This is the exact moment your enemies feared you would discover. Because once you know, once you awaken, once you declare your alignment with the armies of heaven, their power is gone, their deal is broken, their plan collapses like dust. The 30 minutes are the mercy window, the grace window, the chance for you to shift everything, but you must open your spirit, you must act, you must cry out and believe that you are not abandoned, because Archangel Michael is literally standing in the spirit realm around you now, his wings spread over your life, his sword pointed against your accusers, his shield blocking every arrow, and he is saying to you that you are safe if you stand. You are covered if you believe, you are delivered. If you open this fully and step into the promise of protection. Archangel Michael is speaking again with fire in his voice because the countdown is still ticking and heaven is watching to see what you will do with these moments that remain, and I tell you that the shocking deal made behind your back was never only about stealing something small, it was about cutting off your destiny, it was about silencing your purpose. It was about stopping you before you stepped into the season that was already prepared for you. Because the enemy saw what was coming for you, the blessings lined up, the breakthroughs opening, the opportunities written with your name, and they panicked, they trembled, they knew they could not stop what God had already ordained, so they turned to schemes, to betrayals, to jealousies, and they sealed their agreement in darkness, thinking that what you did not know could destroy you, but what they did not calculate was that Archangel Michael would break through the veil and deliver the message to you at this exact hour, because God never leaves his own unguarded. Feel the heaviness pressing on your shoulders. That is the weight of the lies that have been thrown on your name. Feel the sting in your chest. That is the betrayal of those who smiled in your presence but plotted against you in secret. But feel also the fire in your spirit, the shaking in your soul. That is the evidence that heaven's light is now flooding into you. That is the proof that this warning is not ordinary. That is the sign that you are not abandoned to the darkness but lifted into a higher protection. 30 minutes remain and they are trembling too, because those who plotted against you thought you would never hear. They thought you would remain blind until the last second, but the very fact that you are awake now is already unraveling their plans. The very fact that you are receiving this word is already breaking the cords of their contract, and the more you open yourself to it, the weaker their power becomes. Archangel Michael says, do not give them the satisfaction of your silence, do not give them the victory of your inaction, do not let their deal stand unchallenged. Rise now in your heart. In your mind, in your spirit, declare that you belong to the Almighty, declare that your name is not theirs to use, declare that your life is not theirs to trade, declare that your blessing is not theirs to sell, and as you declare it, heaven's army moves swifter, flames fall upon the papers they wrote, the signatures they sealed, the words they swore, and it all turns into ash before their eyes. Can you feel how close this is, how thin the veil has become, how much the spiritual realm is pressing in on your present. This is why your heart feels like it is racing. This is why your eyes sting with tears. This is why your spirit shakes, because you are standing in a divine collision where heaven is fighting for you and hell is raging against you. And your choice tips the scale. Archangel Michael leans closer and whispers that you were never meant to be the target, you were always meant to be the warrior, and what they thought would be your end will become your testimony. What they thought would be your downfall will become your rising. What they thought would make you cry tears of defeat will make you cry tears of release, because the countdown is not to your destruction, it is to their exposure, it is to your deliverance. It is to the moment the truth bursts into the open and all masks fall away. Do not think lightly of this hour, do not imagine you have all the time in the world. Heaven gave you this window because mercy is real. But windows close, doors shut, chances pass, and that is why Archangel Michael is crying out to you with such intensity, because if you hesitate the trap snaps, if you delay the door locks, but if you act now, if you open fully, if you declare boldly, then no chain can bind you, no secret deal can hold you, no shadow can swallow you, because the light will rise and the angels will cover you, and you will stand victorious with your destiny intact, your blessing preserved, your life restored. Archangel Michael is still speaking with urgency because even though the countdown moves forward, the mercy in this moment remains strong, and I tell you again that every heartbeat you feel is heaven knocking. Every tear that forms is heaven cleansing, every shiver that runs through your body is heaven reminding you that this message is not imagination but divine truth, that a shocking deal was written against you but it has already begun to unravel as you open yourself fully. The enemy believed that if they marked your name in their hidden pact you would never know. They believed that you would continue to walk with blind trust toward those who smile in your face and yet spit poison in your shadow, but they underestimated the covenant over your life. They underestimated the fire that surrounds you. They underestimated the sword that Archangel Michael carries. The Spirit is showing me that words spoken against you have been circulating like chains. Words of envy, words of betrayal, words of falsehood, words spoken in secret that were designed to lock doors in your life. But as you read this message, the chains are snapping, the curses are breaking, the whispers are being swallowed by fire, because Archangel Michael is declaring that your name belongs to heaven and not to their lies. You have felt the weight of it for so long without even knowing why, those sudden rejections, those strange failures, those doors that slammed shut without reason, those heavy nights where your spirit ached but your mind could not explain. These were all manifestations of that deal in the shadows, but now the truth is being uncovered so you can break free. So you can step forward, so you can finally understand that none of it was your fault, it was never because you were unworthy, it was because they saw your worth and envied it, because they saw your blessing and feared it, because they saw your rising and sought to bury it. But light cannot be buried, destiny cannot be erased, and chosen ones cannot be silenced when Archangel Michael steps in, and that is why you are reading this now, because heaven has decided that your silence must end and your deliverance must begin. 30 minutes may feel short, but in the spiritual realm it is eternity enough for God to shift everything. It is time enough for angels to descend. It is space enough for chains to break. And if you believe it, if you declare it, if you align yourself with this word, then the very contract that was meant to destroy you will burn before their eyes. The very people who thought they had won will watch as heaven flips the table and restores you double, restores you higher, restores you stronger. Feel the fire rising in your chest. Do not push it away. Do not silence it. That fire is your awakening. That fire is the signal that you are not powerless. That fire is heaven's torch in your spirit, reminding you that no matter how secret the deal, nothing can remain hidden forever, because heaven always reveals what is meant to save you, and you are being saved right now. Archangel Michael says, hold your ground. Lift your voice. Believe with every fiber of your soul that you are not alone, because in this very moment angelic hosts are surrounding you, light is pressing in on every corner of your life, and every dark whisper that had your name on it is being drowned out by the sound of heaven's decree that you are chosen, you are blessed, you are untouchable in the covenant of light. Archangel Michael speaks again with the authority of a warrior of heaven, reminding you that what they planned against you has already begun to fail the moment this message entered your hands, because darkness thrives only in secrecy and exposure is its death. Every plan formed in whispers begins to crumble when truth shines upon it, and truth is shining now so brightly that the very spirits who joined their hands against you are trembling, because they know that once you awaken, once you declare, once you rise, nothing can stop the unraveling of their work. You may wonder why it hurts so much to read these words, why tears press so heavy, why your chest feels tight. This is because your soul is recognizing the betrayal that was hidden. Your spirit is feeling the weight of every unseen dagger, but even more than that, your soul is also feeling the release, the loosening of chains, the lifting of burdens that were never yours to carry. Heaven is removing the lies from your shoulders, heaven is burning the ropes from your hands, heaven is clearing the fog from your mind. And though the enemy wanted you to weep in despair, you are weeping in breakthrough, because the Spirit within you knows that you are being set free. Archangel Michael is saying, listen closely. Do not think you are too small to be a target. Do not think you are too insignificant to be betrayed. The reason you were chosen as their target is the very proof that you are great. That you are powerful, that you are destined for more than they could stand to see. They marked you not because of weakness but because of strength. They conspired against you not because you were nothing but because you are everything heaven has spoken you to be, and though they joined together in jealousy, their agreement holds no weight against the decree of God. The 30 minutes are not to crush you, they are to stir you awake. They are the signal to your spirit that you cannot remain asleep anymore, because the time of silence is over, the time of blindness is gone, the time of breakthrough is here. Even now I see the fire of Archangel Michael's sword flashing in the spirit realm, cutting through papers, cutting through ropes, cutting through shadows, severing agreements that had your name on them, burning through curses spoken in hidden circles, and each strike releases another piece of your destiny, another piece of your inheritance, another piece of your breakthrough back into your hands. Can you feel the shift in your chest, the sudden breath that feels lighter, the pressure that begins to lift? That is not your imagination, that is heaven's intervention. The enemy said 30 minutes to your downfall, but heaven says 30 minutes to your deliverance, 30 minutes to your rising, 30 minutes to your restoration, and every second that passes is working in your favor if you believe. If you stand, if you declare that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Archangel Michael cries out that you must not waste this alert, you must not close your heart now, you must not brush it aside, because every moment matters, every word you receive pulls you higher, every declaration you make strengthens the army around you, and as you choose light the shadows retreat. Archangel Michael presses deeper into your spirit now and says that what is being revealed to you is not just a warning but a transfer of strength, because the same fire that burns away the contracts written in darkness is the fire that ignites within you to carry you through the days ahead. He wants you to understand that the shocking deal made behind your back was designed to make you feel powerless. To convince you that your voice does not matter, that your life can be traded cheaply, but heaven says otherwise. Heaven says your life is priceless, your soul is untouchable, your destiny is eternal, and every force that thought otherwise will be proven wrong in front of your very eyes. Do not underestimate how serious this is, because I see in the spirit how faces that once smiled with you turned into masks of jealousy when you were not looking. I see how laughter around you was hollow because in the background it carried envy. I see how words spoken to encourage you were twisted later to tear you down, and these very people lent their energy to the deal made in the shadows. But what Archangel Michael wants you to know is that their power ends where your awareness begins. Their strength ends where your awakening starts, and your eyes are open now. You are no longer walking blind through their traps, you are no longer stepping in silence toward destruction, you are walking in light, you are stepping with knowledge, and heaven has already gone ahead of you to scatter the enemies that joined hands against you. The 30 minutes are not an accident, they are heaven's way of shaking you awake so that you do not miss the turning point, so that you do not walk past the intersection without seeing the sign. Every second feels heavy because it is filled with decision, but every second also carries mercy because God has chosen to reveal instead of leaving you in the dark. Archangel Michael reminds you that fear is the weapon they hoped would paralyze you, despair is the chain they hoped would bind you, but courage is the key that breaks every lock, faith is the fire that burns every rope, and as long as you choose courage and faith right now, there is no contract, no betrayal, no curse that can stand against you. Can you feel the trembling in your soul as you read this? That trembling is not defeat, it is the roar inside you trying to rise, it is the warrior within you breaking free from silence, it is your spirit aligning with the truth that has been hidden from you for too long. They tried to bury your voice, but your voice is rising. They tried to bury your destiny. But your destiny is breaking out of the ground. They tried to make you the victim, but you are stepping into victory. Archangel Michael says clearly, They made you the target, but heaven makes you the testimony. They made you the sacrifice, but heaven makes you the survivor. They made you the one to weep, but heaven makes you the one to rejoice. The choice remains yours, the window remains open, the countdown remains, and the angels wait to move with even greater power the moment you declare fully that you choose light, you choose truth, you choose heaven's plan over every shadowy deal spoken against you.